All right, everybody, welcome in to, oh my goodness, have I lost? What? Day 17 of Diddy or Didn't He? Here on RadioMisfits.com. I'm Pugs Moran. Welcome in. We do this every single night that the Diddy trial is in session. 17 days now. Here exclusively on RadioMisfits.com. I'm Pugs Moran, and let's get into it, okay? Because we had a big day today, and it's the start of what's going to happen here over the next week plus. I mean, we met someone named Jane today, who is the third accuser that we've been introduced to here. Jane is she's got some bombs to drop, and she's going to be around for a while. As I say, it's about to be the Diddy and Jane show. Jane is expected to be on the stand for 6 days. So for the next 6 days, we're going to hear about Jane. And we also got wrapped up cross-examination of Bana or Bongo, whatever you want to call it, Briana Bana Bongaluan, who was Cassie's friend, who's been on the stand for the last couple of days. She told us about the time that Diddy dangled her over a 17-story balcony. She told about a time that Diddy and Cassie were throwing knives at each other. She told about a time when Diddy leaned into her at a photo shoot. Oh, we learned something about Cassie's friend Bana or Bongo, whatever we want to call her. I thought she was a model because there was a number of stories that she told where she was on a modeling set with Cassie, where they were doing a modeling shoot together. And I assumed that she was a model. She's not. She's a designer. She's like a stylist kind of a thing. So that's what Bana does. Bana witnessed a whole bunch of stuff. She testified to it the day before yesterday, and she wrapped it up this morning with cross-examination. The big story is Jane, though. Let's not kid ourselves. Jane is who we want to hear from. So without further delay, let's get started with day 17 of Diddy or Didn't He with me, Pugs Moran, here at RadioMisfits.com. Before we get into what happened on the stand today, let's talk about something that happened in the middle of the court day. This happened just before lunch, and it was kind of the big news. I mean, look, Jane dropped a lot of bombs, but this was kind of interesting in that today before lunch, Judge Aram Subramanian, who is the presiding judge of this case, who's been doing an absolutely magnificent job, Judge Aram, sorry, I say that wrong. Judge Aram Subramanian threatened to have Sean Diddy Combs removed from the courtroom. Why? What did he do? Diddy was nodding at jurors. So apparently, here's what happened during the early part of today's session. We had Bongo, remember Cassie's friend, the stylist. Bongo was on the stand being cross-examined by one of Diddy's attorneys. And while Diddy's attorneys were making good points or tripping up Bongo or making something that she had said yesterday during direct seems suspect now. Every time that would happen, Diddy was seen to be staring at the jurors and nodding. Like, yeah, see what she is. Well, the judge saw this and he put a stop to it. He's like, no. After the jury was dismissed for lunch, the judge blasted Combs for, quote, looking at the jurors and nodding vigorously. This cannot happen again, the judge told Diddy and his attorneys. The judge warned Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnafilo, that he would consider removing Diddy from the courtroom if he continued this behavior. So there we go. Another example of this judge just being a badass. This is his courtroom. Ain't nobody fucking around on him. Judge Aram Subramanian. Telling you, I'm a fan. I wish it was televised because I would like to see him become, a bit of a star. All right, let's get into what happened today. Today we wrapped up cross-examination. This is how we opened up with Briana Bana Bongaluan. I call her Bongo. She, of course, told us yesterday about the dangling incident where one day when she was sleeping on Cassie's couch at Cassie's apartment, Diddy shows up, banging on the door, making a big old scene. She stepped out, Bongo, to give the two lovebirds a little bit of room. She stepped out onto the balcony, and Diddy apparently followed her out to the 17th floor balcony. And at this point, she took the 5-foot-tall, 100-pound Bongo and apparently dangled her off the railing. 17 stories, dangled her off the railing, screaming, "You know what you did?" And then he threw her into the furniture that was there on the balcony. Okay, so Bongo is actually in another suit suing Diddy for that. suing him for a whole bunch of money. So now we got cross-examination of Bongo and the Diddy defense team. They want to talk a little bit about this 17th story dangling incident. So here's what we got. We got lawyer Nicole Westmoreland. She's one of Diddy's team. She tried to call into question the veracity of the alleged attack, saying that left her bruised by honing in on the date of the photo that Bongo took. Okay, so Bongo says that she was brutalized, dangled over a balcony, bruised and bloodied, not bloodied, but bruised. And she took pictures of him, right? And that was her proof. She's like, look at what he did to me. Like back then, she took pictures of it, which you're supposed to do. You are absolutely supposed to do. Document your abuse. Everybody document your abuse. So you're supposed to do that. So she was using that yesterday, saying, these are my bruises and this is what happened. So Diddy's attorneys get up there and go, what'd you take those pictures? What'd you take? What'd you take those pictures? And Bongo's like, I took them the day of. And Diddy's attorney's like, well, Diddy was in New York. Sorry, we can prove that. Diddy was staying. It says here, what has she got? Bongo said that she believed that she took the photo the same day of the incident, but Westmoreland brought up receipts. Ooh, bringing them receipts, showing that Diddy stayed at the Trump International Hotel in Manhattan from September 25th through September 27th. But Bongo maintained the incident did occur, even if her dates were mixed up. Okay, that's a big... Sorry, my shirt's unbuttoned. Let me fix my shirt. That's a big hit for the defense to take there. That, yesterday Bongo's up there, little tiny Bongo. She's like, look how easy I would be to dangle. And the jury's looking at this tiny little thing and they're looking over at Diddy and they're like, he just picked that little 100-pound girl up and dangled her. And then they showed the jury the pictures and the juries are like, oh my God, this poor little 100-pound girl. Oh my God, this is awful. So that's yesterday. Then today, the jury comes in and is like, those pictures weren't even, he wasn't even in Los Angeles when you got those bruises. To which Bongo responded again, I said what I said. That's basically what she said. She doubled down. She just said, well, I didn't, look, I might have the dates mixed up, but that is not good for the jury to hear. And the jury's like, what? Your dates are mixed up? Wait a second, because now the jury has doubt whether or not Diddy was actually in Los Angeles because the lawyer just said, no, look, these are receipts. He was staying at the Trump Hotel there in New York. Because again, Trump's got to be involved somehow. They got to bring him in somehow. But here's the thing. Here's what I would say to that. If I was on the jury again, and I'm doing a lot of these things, I'm processing a lot of these things that we're learning as somebody who is, theoretically sitting on the jury. So I'm processing this and I'm like, well, he's Diddy. He's not like me. Me, I pay for a hotel room. I'm staying in that hotel room. I'm watching movies. Oh, I'm going to run to the ice machine in my underwear. Oh, don't lock me out. I'm going to do that thing with the deadbolt, the deadbolt hotel rooms where when you run out for ice, you open that so that when the door closes, it closes on that. Oh yeah, I'm doing all that stuff. I'm doing all the hotel fun. If I'm staying at a hotel, if I'm paying for the hotel, but not Diddy. Just because there's like a receipt that he bought 2 hotel rooms at Trump Tower on the night in question, that doesn't mean Diddy stayed there. So I need more on that. I don't know what the jury was given as far as any more context surrounding that. But just on face value, it doesn't prove that Bongo was lying to me, but it isn't good. It causes us to now have to, instead of believing that that's the bruise from when this happened, now we have to go, wait, is she lying? Was he even there? And when you're looking at a life sentence, which is what the prosecution is going for, when you're looking at a life sentence, doubt is a big, big player in these hefty, hefty trials. So here we go. So we had score 1 for the defense. Some doubt right there about whether or not these bruises are real and if this dangling ever happened. The dangling incident. And then they wrapped up Bongo. They went after her motivations because, as we've been saying, Bongo is also suing Diddy in her own little civil trial for the dangling incident, to which Diddy's attorney, Miss Westmoreland, She basically accused her of making this whole thing up. She basically was like, all right, so here's the exchange. Diddy's lawyer, Nicole Westmoreland, accused Bongo, who is suing the mogul for dangling her off a balcony, of only bringing her claim because, quote, she wants to be a millionaire. Isn't it true, Miss Bongo, that you're only doing this because you want to get $1 million payout from Diddy? Briana Bongo is suing Diddy. Here's what Miss Westmoreland said to her. She said, "You hope to become a millionaire soon, do you not?" To which Bongo said, "I care about justice." A friend of, sorry, and justice for you is money. 10 million to be exact, Westmoreland said. "No, ma'am," Bongo responded. I mean, obviously, it's about the money. It's obviously about the whole. I mean, it's a civil. This is why you didn't go to the police. You didn't go to the police and you didn't have a criminal charge because guess what? When you go through all the rigmarole of a criminal case, the way Cassie's doing right here, when you go through all the rigmarole and the heavy lifting of that, there's no payout at the end. So people go civil. Because, well, I'm going to do all this. I may as well have a payout at the end. So this is what Nicole Westmoreland, Diddy's attorney, is trying to sort of create. She's trying to create this narrative around Bongo, which is going to make her a suspect person, a person you're like, yeah, I don't know if what she's saying is true. And now we're hearing that like Diddy wasn't even in New York. Well, I don't know if he wasn't there. Just because he had a hotel room doesn't mean he stayed there. You know, there's that kind of discussion happening. Bongo's cross-examination by Diddy's team was a disaster, in my opinion, for the prosecution. Another example of the prosecution being undone by a superstar celebrity team of attorneys. I care about justice. No, Bongo, you don't. This would be a criminal case if you cared about justice. You care about civil liability. And you think that there is a payout coming to you. Justice. Oh, that is no good. All right, so she left. So goodbye. See you later, Bongo. It was nice. I don't know what to make of you, quite frankly. And it's time for Jane. Jane says, a lot of good songs about Jane. Starship. Jane. That's a good one. That's a banger. Jane says. That's a good one. It's another good one. Jane is testifying anonymously. Porno for pyros? Why was that like, Jane says porno for, of course, I know what it is. Perry Farrell. It's not porno for pyros. I don't know why I said, but it's Jane's addiction. All right, so let's bring on Jane, right? Jane is testifying anonymously. She dated Diddy. Jane dated Diddy. Jane is interesting as a witness because we heard from Cassie. And whether or not we, really keep it front of mind or not, or actually realize it while we're processing all of these charges from Cassie. But Cassie was a long time ago. Cassie was years ago. So, you could, if you wanted, you can say, well, these are all things that he did a long time ago. He's an older man now. Maybe he's a little bit calmer. Maybe these are all things. You can't really dismiss it. But if you're looking to create an overall opinion of Diddy, you could say, well, Cassie was a long time ago. Well, Jane wasn't. Jane is taking the stand. Jane's relationship began with Diddy back in 2020. Jane's relationship ended with Diddy on the day he was arrested. That's right. That's right. When the feds raided Diddy's house last year, that's when Jane was like, I'm outie. She was out. So Jane's going to tell us about, the stuff that happened after Cassie was all of these things, the freak offs and whatever, were all of these just Cassie related things, or are these, bits that Diddy's going to continue to do if unchecked for the rest of his life? By the way, if he's acquitted, can you imagine what the freak off is going to be like? Holy cow! Is he going to bring the people from the trial back? Like, will the Punisher be brought back? Huh? How great would that be? And who's going to be the girl? Who's going to be the new girl in the freak-offs after all of this? It's going to have to be somebody willing. It's going to have to be a willing participant. It's going to be obviously a willing participant. Hell, Diddy will turn it into a reality show for like the Hustler channel or something. It'll work. So Jane takes the stand. Jane, oh, all right, why not? We'll do this. Why not? Let me find my place here. Where's the description of Jane? Oh, here's the description of Jane. Okay. Oh, too loud. Jane is a third accuser who has taken the witness stand. Jane, wearing a dark brown suit, is testifying anonymously as an alleged assault victim of the Bad Boy Records founder. She told the jury that she was in a relationship with the I'll Be Missing You rapper from 2021 to 2024. Combs is wearing a gray sweater. He's observing as he sits back in his chair with his hands. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring on Jane. That's enough of Jane. All right, Jane comes on. Let's see here. Jane revealed right out of the box they had cute little pet names for each other. They did. Diddy and Jane. Bert and Ernie. Isn't that weird for them? Is that weird? Well, I don't want to judge. I've never had nicknames. Oh, man. Man, I'm just realizing now at this accelerated age that I've never had nicknames with it. I've never been in a relationship where we've had nicknames. And I think that might be cute. And it might really be something I missed out on. I mean, asshole. I've been called asshole a lot. I guess that's a nickname. There you go. I've been married twice. You fucking dickhead. You know, I've had to wear some slurs, but I've never had a cute nickname. Oh, my God. Says the guy who goes around as an adult named Pugs. All right, I guess I do have a nickname, but it's not like a romantic nickname like Jane and Diddy. Bert and Ernie. Bert and Ernie. It says the Sesame Street-inspired nicknames started when they were on a yacht trip with others in Miami of 2020. Jane said that she and Diddy, their first date began with dinner on the balcony at the Fiena Hotel in Miami, and that it lasted 5 days. Her first date with Diddy lasted 5 days. I mean, after that, do you even ask, how did it go? Yeah, like a first date is like, how'd it go? 5 days. And also, not for nothing, I want to be one of them people. I want to be a hot Jane. I know I'm a middle-aged, fat, old white guy, but I want to be a hot Jane. I want to be Jane for like one weekend. Just let me be 22-year-old Jane in Miami. By the way, she's an influencer. She's like one of these Instagram chicks, so you know she's smoking hot. Just for a weekend, let me be Jane. Hey, I'm not even gay, but I'll have the sex because I want the parties. You know, I want to live that life. I want to be somebody like Jane who can go on a date with somebody and have that date turn into 5 days and have nobody going, you haven't showed up for work in 5 days. What is Jane doing? She can just do this. Anyway, Jane said she and the Bad Boy Records founder first began to date after the dinner on the balcony. She said, I was pretty head over heels for Diddy already. The pair then flew on a private jet for a trip to Turks and Caicos for 9 days, and then to the Bahamas for another 6 days. Okay, so these are their dates. So their dates are 5 days, 9 days, 6 days. This is how the courting began. The pair flew on a private jet for a trip to Turks and Caicos for 9 days, and then to the Bahamas for another 6 days in February of 21. Jane told jurors that she dated him right up until he was arrested in September of 2024. She left him. He gets arrested. She leaves him. She's going 9 days in Turks and Caicos. And the guy gets a little hot water with the FBI and ATF. And all of a sudden she's dumping him. I mean, my God, come on. What happened to like hot trophy girlfriends? There used to be a code. Even Paula Barbieri stayed with OJ. Paula Barbieri is there with OJ for the whole OJ trial. And OJ murdered his last wife. Paula Barbieri. I'm sorry, Jane. You are no Paula Barbieri. You are not cut out for the job of like mistress of Celebrity guy. All right. When the duo took a trip to Turks and Caicos, let's see here. When the duo took their trip to Turks and Caicos and to the Bahamas back in 2021 for a combined 15 days, Diddy sent Jane $10,000 to cover any lost income in her career as a social media influencer. Really? What is that? How many days? 15 days, 10 grand? I mean, I don't know. Was she a successful social media person? I mean, she got on Diddy's radar. Yeah, I'm a social media. I'm like a low level. I do streams every day and I all that stuff. So I'm kind of an influencer. I never met Diddy. 10 grand. 10 grand, man. See, this is what I'm saying when I tell you I want to be Jane. I want to be Jane just for a couple of days. Not forever, because I don't want to be a chick forever. I like being a dude. But I mean, just for a couple of days, I want to try being Jane. On that trip, Combs encouraged Jane to try ecstasy, which she had a bad reaction to the first time, but continued to take in smaller doses every day going forward on the trip. So Jane's on the trial, and they're going over, like, you know, what. Jane's on the stand, and they're going over, trying to paint a picture of what kind of debauched experience it is. And she's talking about drugs and, you know, all of this kind of stuff. Saying, he gave me ecstasy. I tried it. Jane, the social media influencer who lives in Miami. You know, she's like, he introduced me to ecstasy. No, he didn't. Your boyfriend's sophomore year of high school introduced you to ecstasy. Nobody thinks you're this innocent doe, okay? He introduced me to ecstasy on the first night. I had a bad reaction. But, you know, I took it every single fucking day afterwards. And, you know, it was pretty... That's what she's trying to do. And not for nothing, you know, hi, drug guy here, done a lot of drugs, done them all. Haven't done the really spooky ones, like haven't done heroin, haven't done crack, haven't done meth, haven't done those. But, you know, I've taken some pills, I've done some blow, I've smoked some weed, all that kind of stuff. I know. I'll tell you this. Who has a bad reaction to ecstasy or Molly? I don't know what it was they were taking. Who is that a thing? I mean, I've taken a lot of ecstasy in my life. It's like amazing. It's like really good. But who has a bad reaction to ecstasy? It's not like acid. I mean, acid, you can have a bad trip. Well, actually, here's a little tip for you guys. And this might be sobering for some of you. If you've had a bad acid trip, there's one of two explanations for you having a bad acid trip. Like if you took acid and it was like really bad and scary and awful and dark, or if you took mushrooms, it was really bad and scary and awful and dark. Okay, so there's two possibilities. The first possibility is that you were simply going through something. You were having a really bad day. You were in like a really bad headspace, and you took acid. And the acid amplified that really bad headspace, and you had a bad trip. It was miserable, right? So that's one option. But if you've had a bad acid trip, like, oh, you don't always have bad acid trips. Hey, man, you're a piece of shit. That's the only answer. That's it. You want to find out if you're a piece of shit or not? Take acid. And if you consistently have bad acid trips, that's because you're just bad inside. That's because there's nothing fucking good in you. Because if there is something good and something decent and something kind, acid will find it. Acid will find it. And you'll be hugging a tree for a week. That's what acid does. If you have a bad acid trip, it's because you're a fucking gangsta. Because you're like kind of a dark person who's always looking to manipulate and do fucking rotten things to people anyway. So anyway, Jane's having us believe that she's the innocent doe in the headlights down there running around with Diddy and the bad boy people in Turks and Caicos for 15 days. He asked her to take Molly, and she was like, I didn't like it. I had a bad reaction, but I took it every day after. Come on, please. Let's see. When they got serious, when Jane and Diddy got serious, Combs was open with her about the fact that he was seeing other women. But Jane said that she didn't date anybody else when she was with him. Well, Diddy probably wouldn't, because you have no hand in the relationship. Diddy's the guy. I mean, Diddy's Diddy. He don't need you. You're a fucking influencer, right? You're like, we didn't need you. He'll go get another one. So in that relationship, Diddy has all the hand. So when Diddy says to you, oh, by the way, I'm running around with other chicks, right? that doesn't mean it's an open relationship. That doesn't mean that you're allowed to run around with other dudes. So she kind of got that. Jane got that. And she said that even though Diddy was open about his relationships with other women, she stayed loyal to him during the course of their relationship. I call bullshit on that. I don't know what Jane looks like, but she's a young 20s influencer living in Miami who was dating Diddy and was in his orbit. So she fucking cheats. I'm just saying she cheats on her boyfriends. You know what I mean? And she probably Diddy. These people who are like this, hot people. There you go. I'm going to say it. Hot people. Dude, don't ever be an uggo with a hot person. Okay? An uggo with a hot person doesn't work unless the uggo has like a lot of money. If the uggo has a lot of money and power and influence, then it is possible that the hot person that's with the uggo, it is possible that the hot person can be sort of seduced by the other things, and that will be very real. But mostly, you know, the uggo, and that's not... Oh, okay, let's move on. Let's talk about porn. We all like to talk about porn. I'm sorry. I started ranting and we started drifting. So let's get back on porn. Let's get back into porn. She started talking about porn. Apparently Diddy made her watch porn. She didn't like it. She's I don't like porn. I'm just a delicate devil. Remember this. Remember I told you. She was like, he made me watch porn. It was very uncomfortable for me watching porn. I'm a good girl who has bad reactions to ecstasy. You're right. That's what she's doing on the stand. So when they would watch porn, by the way, the description is as she dabbed her eyes, talking about having to watch porn. Diddy made me watch porn. Okay, look. Are they presenting this in court like another example of what a monster Diddy is, watching porn with chicks he's banging? Isn't that what porn's for? I'm sorry, I don't mean to. I hope I'm not stepping out here. I hope I'm not outing myself, some pervert or something. But I swear to God, you guys, I thought that's what porn was invented for. I thought it was for couples. I had no idea that was the kind of thing that you could testify to in court. Try to get a jury to convict someone for a lifetime in prison off of it. I did not know that was a thing. But yeah, she dabbed her eyes as she recounted Diddy making her watch pornography. And remember this. Remember how negatively affected she is by the idea of having to be forced to watch pornography. Because she's innocent. All right. The pair would get high and Combs would put on X-rated content. I mean, this is just every relationship I've ever been in. Combs would get high and the pair would put on X-rated content and Combs would ask her to fantasize and describe having sex with other men, she said. Here's a quote now from Jane on the stand. She says, it was more like a question, like, do you like what you see there? Jane recounted about Diddy saying, do you like that? Do you want that? Can you imagine that? Pretend that's here and I'm that person. So they're watching porn and he's being weird porn talker. Like look, here's how that goes down when you watch porn with somebody. Okay, here's how it is. He's being weird porn talker. Like he's actually leaving it on and they're talking about what they're seeing. That's not how you do it. At least it hasn't been my experience. Here's what you do. You put it in, you wait for it to start, or what are we talking? Is this put it in? It's not a VHS. I mean, we live in the modern world. So whatever, it's on, you put it on, and then the two of you lay there really awkwardly and weirdly for a little bit while a bunch of bad actors, fully clothed, kind of set up whatever porno scene is happening. And then it starts getting going, and then you're like, how about that? And then and then you quickly just move into doing it. You're not watching. Are you? Is that wrong? Damn, do I have that wrong? So they're sitting there watching. Diddy's like, do you like that? Huh? Do you like that? Do you want that? Do you want to be? Can you imagine that? Pretend that's here and I'm that person. Very weird. All right. So Jane didn't like that. No. Porno. Yuck. I'm a good girl, Your Honor, and members of the jury. All right, so now let's get into the good girl. She's going to start talking about freak-offs. Remember, she had to dab her eyes when talking about having to watch porno with Diddy, dabbing her eyes. So let's move into the freak-offs, okay? Freak-offs with Jane. All right, we heard about freak-offs with Cassie. Now let's find out whether or not Jane, was there anything different about them? Jane said that after the first time she had sex with a male escort, Don. Don. Hey, man, I'm Diddy. I'm Don. Don the escort. I like it. I like it. Not as cool as the Punisher. Remember a couple of weeks back, we heard from the Punisher, who was one of the escorts that Diddy hired. Cassie got the Punisher. Jane got Don. Don. It's like Fred Garvin. Don Garvin, male freak-off participant. Excuse me, let me take off my hernia truss. So she talked about the first time she had to have sex. Remember, had to. First time she had to have sex with a male escort, Don, in front of Combs. 90% of the rest of her time with Diddy was during sex marathons. So basically, he wasn't like girlfriend. He was just, freak-off girl. He was just a girl that he would use. He wined and dined her. He took her on a few trips, watched a little porno with her, and then started getting creepy and then introduced the freak-off concept, to which she was like, okay, I cry when I talk about having to watch porn, but okay, I'll have sex with Don, the male escort. I mean, the jury's hearing all of this. They're putting all this together. Wait, is this the same girl that was just dabbing her eyes when she was talking about having to watch pornography? Now she's having sex with Don, the male prostitute? Here's what she says. She says, I truly felt that night, the night of the first freak-off, opened a Pandora's box in our relationship. It just completely set the tone for our relationship moving forward. There was so much of it after that, and there was too much of it, Jane testified. Jane said she thought the first freak-off was a one-time thing, and she didn't want to keep having sex with prostitutes. Well, there's a lot of people that do. I mean, it's the reason it's a business. There's a lot of people that are willing to pay to have sex with a prostitute, Jane. So, when Jane would resist freak-offs, oh, no, wait. Oh, here's another fun fact. I'm sorry. I skipped over this. Jane said, here's interesting. This is a big detail. Okay. So freak-offs, right? We've been hearing about freak-offs with Cassie. The whole point of this trial was Cassie and freak-offs. It became a buzzword. Jane says that ain't what we call them. We call them freak-offs. You nerds. You people think we're running around. This is our little thing and we call it freak. No, they ain't call it that. She says that we called it, between Jane and Diddy, they were called hotel nights. Hotel nights, or on occasion, debauchery. Are you up for some debauchery? You want to do a hotel night? So it wasn't freak-offs. Maybe freak-offs, again, a Cassie, that was way back. It was like 10, 15 years ago. So that's Cassie's era. Freak-off is what they went with. Don't be surprised that Diddy changes up the branding for his little sex parties. This is a man who has been Sean Combs, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. He's always changing. He's always reinventing. So yeah, so Jane called them debauchery or simply hotel nights. But when she did push back, when she did say, yeah, Diddy, come on, I don't want, excuse me. When she would push back and say that she wasn't interested, she didn't want to do freak-offs. I don't want to do freak-offs, Diddy. She would say that. That's when Diddy would threaten to stop paying her rent. That's it. She testified. Like, this is admirable. Like, this is like something that's going to make him look like the bad guy. I mean, it does. He can't help but look like the bad guy. He has looked like the bad guy from beginning to end of this. But as I've been consistent on, he is a bad guy. A bad guy who does not rise to the level of life in prison. Prosecution's not making their case. They keep putting up these sketchy-ass people that we're supposed to be like, oh, we feel bad for them. But we're all like, oh, they're terrible. These people are all terrible. Punisher was cool. Punisher, the big giant male escort, he seemed cool. That was it. Punisher was like the best guy so far. So when she would resist a freak-off, Sean Diddy Combs threatened to stop paying rent She said if she refused to take part in freak-offs, he would stop paying her rent. But then they go on to say he paid rent a year at a time. So like when he's paying your rent, it's not like he's giving you money every month to make your rent. No, he pays for the whole thing for the year, and then you live there. So one time when she said, Diddy, I don't want to do it, Diddy's response was, well, you got 3 months left on your rent. So, you better find a new place to live because I ain't paying rent. That's what he said. So she kept doing the freak-offs, like as opposed to just renting her own apartment. She just kept doing the freak-offs. I wanted to stop, but he said he would no longer pay my rent. I mean, isn't that prostitution? I mean, can we be honest? She is participating in these sexual orgies with prostitutes in exchange for money. Money that is being used to provide her rent, provide her a place to live. That's a prostitute. It's not a victim. He didn't say when she said, I don't want to do freak-offs, he didn't say, I'm going to fucking kill you, get back in the dungeon, bitch. He didn't say that. When she said, I don't want to do freak-offs, he said, well, I ain't paying your rent no more. Which is shitty and manipulative and all of that kind of stuff and not something a good dude does. But whether or not Diddy's a good dude, folks, that ship has sailed. He is not a good dude. He is not. He's garbage. But my God, I mean, are you a prisoner? If I couldn't say no to him because then I'd have to pay rent. Or God forbid, move back in with my mother. So you made a choice. You made a grown-up big girl choice. It's all very sketchy. It's all very seedy. This whole situation is sus. You're engaging in drug use, any number of illegal things going on. You're doing all of that. And it's a choice. Because you don't want to move back in with mom. So, life in prison for that? Boy, oh boy, the fucking defense is just crushing. Prosecution is not making their case. Who are these people, the prosecutors, that they think that these are all salient points that regular people will be affected and moved by? Sean Diddy Combs threatened to stop paying rent for Jane if she refused to take part in freak-offs. Jane testified that she repeatedly told Combs throughout their relationship that she didn't want to keep having sex with prostitutes. Oh, you're always whining. Diddy, I don't want... What? At some point, we'll explore that. At some point, I'll explore that because I think I might have a point of view on Diddy wanting to watch other dudes rail his girl that you might be surprised by. I think that maybe me and Diddy might have... I mean, I'm not saying I want to see it. I can see how I understand it. I understand that if we are through the looking glass with our sexual peccadillos, that I can see how... that could be hot for a guy to watch his girl with some other dude. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't think it's as weird as some of my other friends have said. They're like, that's weird, man. Could you imagine watching some other guy with your girl? And I'm like, in fact, I can. Yeah, that's not that weird. That's like not terrible. I don't know. Let her have fun. And it's also because I don't think I'm a great lover. Yeah, really, it's just me being a good dude to the person I'm in a relationship with. I'm probably a real shitty lover. So let's let her go out and get a little something. Let's let her, I got no problem with that. Sex is an act. Love is different than sex. All right, let's keep going here. Jane testified that she repeatedly told Combs throughout their relationship she didn't want to keep having sex with prostitutes. He would just say things like, if you want to break up, that's fine. You have 3 months left on the house because I'm not about to be paying your rent, Jane recalled. It's a shitty thing to say, but it's not criminal. It's like, oh, he's a dick. Oh, he's a manipulative dick who's going to hold things over your head. These are all things you don't want in friends. But I don't know if it's the kind of thing that you go to jail for the rest of your life. Okay, so remember when I asked you to put a pin in Jane dabbing her eyes? I had to watch porno. Remember that was, I'm a good girl, Your Honor. I'm a good girl. I don't even make me watch porn. started talking creepy. So remember, she did that. Remember, watching porn was difficult for her. Okay, well, here comes testimony where she wants and this is an example that the prosecution wants to get to the jury. The prosecution wants to show the jury how Diddy was economically manipulative and kind of controlling with the careers and all of that. Okay, so this is why the prosecution is introducing this line of questioning with Jane. Remember, she was dabbing her eyes because of porn. Jane testified on the stand today that she went to Diddy and said, Diddy, I want to join OnlyFans. Yeah, the girl who couldn't watch porn wants to be a porn star. And Diddy said no. Diddy told her she couldn't join OnlyFans. And the prosecution's like, so he's stopping you from making money. How does the jury, if the jury knows what porn is, and if the jury knows what OnlyFans is, how does the jury hear both of these things in the course of an hour and go, wait, she was crying because porn isn't her thing, but then she was mad that Diddy wouldn't let her be an OnlyFans girl? See? This is what the jury's hearing today. We get 6 more days of Jane. 6 more days. And this is supposed to be positive points for the prosecution. The accuser, Jane, said that a friend of hers told her that she was making $4 million a year on the website OnlyFans. She said to Diddy, if I joined at that time, it would be incredibly lucrative. But Combs talked her out of it and would say, let's just give it some time, baby. Jane testified. When I mentioned it, he just instantly gave really bad energy, she said. I don't know what the prosecution is trying. You know what that is? That's right. That's the right thing. Someone you care about, somebody that you like comes to you and go, I'm thinking about getting really quick money from being a porn star on OnlyFans. And this person says, no, you're not doing it. You don't need that. You don't need that. And the prosecution is presenting this exchange like it's a negative on Diddy. It's an example of her wanting to go out and do work and Diddy not allowing it. That's what the prosecution's going for. That's shitty. This is like not good for them. That did not score. Because once again, she was dabbing her eyes at the idea of watching porn and then upset that Diddy wouldn't let her make porn. So when I mentioned it, he just instantly gave really bad energy. Oh, well, let's imprison that bad energy for life. And again, folks, I don't want you to get it twisted. I'm not a Diddy fan. I can't say it any clearer than I am really upset with the prosecution. I'm really upset with them bringing this bullshit case when we could have had this dickhead put in jail for like 10 years if this had been done properly. But no, headline making case. Let's go for life in prison. I want to be governor someday. Let me charge him. They overcharged them. And they're all going to be embarrassed. All right. And the last thing today that Jane said before trial wrapped for the evening, she talked about baby oil for absolutely no reason. The prosecution let her into talking about baby oil again, because now we're back to the ritualistic humiliation of a dude who's just a sex perv. He's just a pervert. He just likes weird things. And so the prosecution wants to make sure that everybody remembers there's weird stuff with baby oil. Jane said, oh, wait, where is it? Sorry, that's the OnlyFans things. Jane says that they always used baby oil for their hotel nights. Remember, hotel nights are what they call freak-offs. Jane says they always used baby oil for hotel nights and would go through 24 or more bottles during a single sex session. Which is crazy, which is insane to me, because like I said, I got a bottle of baby oil in my bathroom and I don't remember buying it. It's just every place that I have lived forever has had a bottle of baby oil, a bottle of Johnson & Johnson's baby oil. It's been there forever. This dude's going through 12 of those in a night. Seriously, I think that there's probably a good chance that the bottle of baby oil that is currently in my bathroom. I'm pretty sure I bought that bottle of baby oil back when Clinton was president. Probably. I don't use baby oil. What do you use baby oil for? What besides Diddy freak off sex party? What are people using baby oil for? Is it a grooming thing? Is it maybe a woman's thing? Do women use it? What? I'm a guy. What am I supposed to be using baby oil for? Do guys use baby oil to jerk it? Isn't that hand lotion? I mean, not me. I'm a dry rub guy. I'll use a blanket if I have to. Just a little something. We don't need to go into that. All right. She says they always used baby oil for their hotel nights and would go through 24 or more bottles of the lubricating product during a single sex session. She said he really enjoyed watching me pour oil all over myself and all over the man. And that's it, folks. That's a wrap for today. That was Jane, day one. Again, we're expecting 6 more days of Jane bringing the fire. I don't know if it's gonna help the prosecution, but it sure is fun for us gossipy types to just sit here and watch and then be judgmental about it all. All right, that's gonna do it. Diddy or didn't he? Night 17 in the books. We got Friday. We're gonna do court tomorrow, so we got night 18 coming. RadioMisfits.com is where you find all of this. If you're listening via the podcast, you know where you get it from. You can get it everywhere. But if you want to watch it, you want to see some of these things. Not that I didn't really show anything. There were no examples today. But you can go to Radio Misfits on YouTube and watch it there. You can go to Radio Misfits on Facebook. You can watch it there. Also, if you're so inclined, you'd like to listen to my daily talk stream, I do a show called The Rant. It's a stream of consciousness, current events, and hot topic show for normal Americans. What's a normal American? Well, we don't do politics. I don't get into politics. I don't care if you're a Trump person or a Biden person. I don't talk Obama. I don't talk, you know what I mean? We just do talk radio the way normal people would, okay? That's what we do. Every day, Monday through Friday. You can find that. All you got to do is Google search me, Pugs Moran. That's easy peasy. Pugs Moran. You'll find The Rant. Every day since 2021, daily talk radio, unlike anything you'll find anywhere else in this country. All right. Thank you, folks. I guess that's going to do it. We'll wrap it up, and we'll be back tomorrow. Once again, Pugs Moran for Diddy or Didn't He, Night 17, exclusively here on RadioMisfits.com.